The Story of Dracula. 1. Jonathan Harker's Journey to Transylvania. The story begins with Jonathan Harker, a young English solicitor who travels from England to Transylvania to assist a nobleman named Count Dracula with the purchase of an estate in London. As Jonathan journeys deeper into Eastern Europe, the locals warn him of danger, speaking fearfully of vampires and evil spirits. Jonathan dismisses these warnings as superstition. Jonathan arrives at Castle Dracula, where he is warmly welcomed by the Count, an unnaturally pale, strong, and unsettling man who never eats, casts no reflection in mirrors, and only appears at night. Soon Jonathan realizes he is a prisoner. He witnesses Dracula crawling down castle walls like a lizard and encounters 3 seductive female vampires who attempt to feed on him, but Dracula stops them, claiming Jonathan as his own. Dracula reveals his plan. He intends to move to England to spread his undead curse. After Dracula leaves the castle, Jonathan barely escapes and collapses from illness, eventually making his way to a convent. 2. Dracula arrives in England. Meanwhile in England, Jonathan's fiancée Mina Murray is staying with her friend Lucy Westenra, a beautiful young woman courted by 3 men: Arthur Holmwood, Dr. John Seward, Quincy Morris. Lucy begins to suffer from strange symptoms: weakness, sleepwalking, and unexplained wounds on her neck. At the same time, a mysterious ship crashes on the English coast. All crew members are dead, and Dracula is presumed to have arrived hidden among coffins of Transylvanian soil, which he requires to survive. Dracula begins feeding on Lucy at night. 3. Lucy's death and transformation. Dr. Seward calls in his mentor, Professor Abraham Van Helsing, who recognizes that Lucy is being attacked by a vampire. They attempt to save her through blood transfusions, garlic, and protective rituals. Despite their efforts, Lucy dies. Soon after her burial, children in the area report being attacked by a beautiful lady. Van Helsing realizes Lucy has become a vampire. The men open her tomb, find her undead, and destroy her vampire form by driving a stake through her heart and cutting off her head, finally freeing her soul. 4. Mina and Jonathan reunite. Jonathan returns to England and reunites with Mina, whom he marries. Jonathan shares his journal with Van Helsing, who now fully understands Dracula's plan. Mina becomes a key ally, intelligent, organized, and brave. She helps gather all the men's journals and letters, creating a complete record of Dracula's movements. 5. Dracula attacks Mina. Dracula begins targeting Mina, forcing her to drink his blood and partially turning her into a vampire. This psychic bond allows Mina to sense Dracula's thoughts, but it also puts her soul in danger. The group swears to destroy Dracula before Mina fully transforms. 6. The hunt for Dracula. The group tracks Dracula's boxes of earth throughout England and sterilizes them, preventing him from resting. Dracula flees back to Transylvania, and the group follows him across Europe in a desperate race against time. As Mina becomes increasingly affected by the curse, Van Helsing protects her with sacred rituals while the men pursue Dracula. 7. Dracula's destruction. At sunset near Castle Dracula, the group intercepts Dracula's coffin as it is being transported by gypsies. In a final confrontation, Jonathan Harker slashes Dracula's throat. Quincy Morris drives a knife into his heart. Dracula crumbles into dust, finally destroyed. Mina is freed from the curse. Quincy Morris dies from wounds sustained in the battle, becoming a hero of the group. 8. Epilogue. 7 years later, the surviving characters reunite. Jonathan and Mina have a son named Quincy, honoring the fallen hero. Peace has returned, and the evil of Dracula has been erased.